Thank you for coming for this plenary session. We appreciate your attendance here, and I think you'll find it very worthwhile on this one. I want to echo the comments that were made in terms of some of the preliminary presentations before the President spoke. It's wonderful to be here in Mexico, a country that is growing, that is thriving, that is benefiting from a lot of the globalization that we've all been a part of, both in terms of the World Congress and also in terms of the International Chamber of Commerce. My name is Terry McGraw. I'm the Chairman and CEO of the McGraw-Hill Company, and I'm the Vice Chairman of the International Chamber of Commerce. And again, we welcome you. The excitement that we have for time, by the way, my job is to keep us on time. I am failing miserably as we start, and we will try and get to where we need to be as quickly as we can. This is obviously, for you. I will be asking each one of the panelists to make some remarks, and then I will pose some questions to them. And when we've completed all of the presentations, I can ask some general questions, but I really am looking for your participation. We have microphones on the side, so if you just raise your hand, I'll recognize you, and if you can just tell us who you are and who you're affiliated with, and we will get to your questions, and I'm hoping to leave as much time as we can, but just raise your hand, I'll find you, and I'll be able to call on you. Let me introduce the panelists for you. On my immediate left is a gentleman by the name of Muhtar Kent. I think there's, everyone here is going to know our panelist, but he is all over the world. He is a globalist by the sincerest sense of definition. He is the chairman and CEO of the Coca-Cola Company. He joined Coca-Cola in 1978. And he's had numerous marketing and operational assignments with him. He has been all over the world. He has never lived in any one spot for more than 6 years. If anybody is the authority to speak in terms of globalization, the impact on different markets, he serves 206 countries. I had it at 192. 206. Coca-Cola knows more. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for being with us. Dr. Rahendra Pachauri, to Muhtar's left, is the chairman of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, that's IPCC. He's also chief executive of the Energy and Resource Institute, known as TERI. Rahendra assumed his current responsibilities as the chief executive of TERI, again the Energy and Resource Institute, in 1982. First as director, and since April 2001 as director general. TERI does original research and provides knowledge in the areas of energy, environment, forestry, biotechnology, and conservation of natural resources to governments, institutions, corporate organizations worldwide. In 2002, Rahendra was elected the chairman of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. IPCC, along with former Vice President, U.S. former Vice President Al Gore, was awarded the 2007 Nobel Peace Prize. Rahendra also joined the board of the Global Humanitarian Forum, recently founded by the former United Nations Secretary General Kofi Annan. He's authored over 23 books, articles, and numerous and all that. He has a right, to be heard, and we're looking forward to that. Thank you for being here. And Ms. Zhang, Managing Director and Executive Vice President of the Bank of China, has been the Executive Vice President since 2002. She serves as the General Manager of Legal and Compliance Department. She has served more than 20 years in the position, and in the past, Ms. Zhang has been the Vice Chairperson of the International Chamber of Commerce Banking Commission since July 2003, and we thank you for your participation and being here. Let me introduce the subject very quickly. We're talking about the new economy. We're talking about challenges and opportunity, and it couldn't be at a better time. The globalization movement and the effect that it has had on worldwide economic growth, both in terms of the developing and the emerging markets, has been is quite clear. and the benefit that we saw up and through, probably about mid-year 2007. With the economic crisis and the financial crisis and the spillover effect, it obviously changed our world stage in a way that has been profoundly different. So when we talk about the new economy, I'm not so sure I understand whether it's a new economy or if it's a different economy. But clearly, the developed world is in a very different place than it's used to have been in. And the emerging and developing countries, especially the BRICS, have found themselves in a very different position of prosperity, economic growth, and advancement of their agendas. And so we want to talk about what then the challenges and the opportunities in all of this are. And as we talk about all of this, we're talking about, people keep talking about how do we get back to it, how do we get back to growth, how do we get back to doing some of the things that are going to create the jobs that more people are going to benefit from and the like. And I would start, by making the comment that in terms of a global environment, which is what the ICC is all about, it's all about economic growth and the reduction of poverty, and if you're doing those things and the investments, then you get into job creation. That you must start, with economic growth. Everything has to be about economic growth. To get economic growth, you're going to be having to make investments on that one. This is something that we're going to want to talk to all of our panelists about, because in order to make investments, you have to be able to identify things, you have to have the innovation, creativity, and the critical thinking skill to be able to see these things and then also to be able to execute on those. So everything is about growth. So many times you hear people talking about the fact that what we really need is jobs. We're trying to get to the jobs. So it's all about jobs. No, it's not. It's all about economic growth. And when you're achieving growth, when you're making the kind of investments and you're smart, you're going to be able to then get the job. And we have to keep it in that order. I would also say to you, in making the investments and the priorities associated with that, we also have to be very mindful of the environment for investment. If your fiscal policies are fluctuating, your fiscal policies distort the level of investment, capital goes where it's wanted and where it's taken care of. And so for us, on this one, we want to take a look at things like taxation policies. We want to take a look at regulation. We want to take a look at the influence that trade and some of those potential barriers can have on those kind of investments. So if you're going to create an environment for growth, you must create an environment that's going to protect investment in all of those within a rule of law and protection of intellectual property. And that's what we get to the job creation. I would also say to you that we don't have time today to talk about all of the 6 things that the International Chamber of Commerce G20 Policy Advisory Force is focusing on in terms of setting priority for the upcoming G20 in France later this year. But certainly, huge on this agenda is the promotion of trade and investment. And we all know, the issues there in terms of a multilateral agreement, which would be the most important on that one. And we all have to work very hard to be able to get there. Also, some of the comments that have been made about a plethora of free trade agreements. As important as they are, they're very hard to negotiate and they take a long time. And they also have to be administered and monitored and enforced on that one. So I think one of the things that we need to talk about is the role that trade can take on in a regional new context. We have the Trans-Pacific Partnership, we have the ASEAN 3, ASEAN 6. I would submit to you that we're at a position where hemispheric integration in this land is needed because of the strength that Brazil represents and what Chile, Argentina, Colombia, and Peru do on that part of it. And so we're going to be talking about the trade and investment. We're going to be talking about going green, and we're going to be talking about what do we mean by investments in terms of understanding and identifying innovation and the like. My final comment